Hey guys, I'm back for my next lesson with the guitar, as I promised. Today we're going to learn the 5 chord shapes that make up the CAGED system. This is absolutely imperative to know because everything that we learn outside of this kind of reverts back to these chord shapes somehow. So you kind of got to grind your teeth now and let's get this done. And I promise by the time next lesson comes around, we're going to start learning some really cool stuff on a guitar. So let's get to it. Alright guys, first letter in the word caged is C, so we're going to learn a C chord first. A C major works a little bit like this. It's going to start on the A string, which is your 5th string. You're going to play it on the 3rd fret, okay, so this is open. This is 1, 2, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, A string. The D string, just underneath, is the 4th string, is going to be your middle finger, 2nd fret, sound like that. The G string, which is the 3rd string, gets played open. No fingers, no frets. The B string, which is your 2nd string, is going to get played on the 1st fret with your 1st finger. And your E string gets played open. Okay, so technically we're not really going to play this low E string. It's going to start right here. That's our root, that's our C note. So starting from this A string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, open, 1st fret, open. And that's a C chord. After C and caged, we have A, so we're going to play an A major chord. A major chord is also going to be started on this A string. That's going to be our root. That's going to be played open, okay, no fret. The D string is going to get played with your 1st finger on the 2nd fret. Your middle finger is going to go on the G string, 2nd fret, and your ring finger is going to go on the B string, 2nd fret. It's a tight fit in there, but just practice it and it'll start getting in there pretty good. The E string on top is going to get played open, your 1st string. So starting again, it's going to be open on the A string, open, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, and open. And that's an A chord. Some people, if you can't fit all your fingers in there for any reason, some people do what's known as a bar, and they'll take a finger and they'll just lay them right across all the strings here. So if you wanted to try it this way, your A string is still going to be open, and then the D, G, and B strings are all going to get pressed down with your 1st finger. And I know people who play an A chord like this too, or with their 3rd finger, which is going to come in handy at a later lesson. But I usually play it like this just because I can alter that chord pretty easily. But if you want to bar it, that's just as fine too. You're going to get the same sound out of it. Another thing to try to keep in mind is that high E string up here is played open, so you got to make sure that that ring finger isn't touching the E string, or else you're going to get a buzz. Alright, so one last time. Starting from the A string, it's going to go open, 2nd fret with the 1st finger, 2nd fret with the 2nd finger, 2nd fret with the 3rd finger, and a high open E. A chord. Next chord in caged after CA is the letter G. It sounds like this. This is a very common chord as well. There's a couple of different variations to play it, but I'm going to show you the way I think is one of the most common ways to play it. So it's going to start here on the low E string with your middle finger on the 3rd fret. Sound like that. The A string is going to be played with your 1st finger on the 2nd fret. The D string is going to get played open. The G string will be played open. And the next 2 strings, B and A, are both going to be played on the 3rd fret. So you're going to put your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and your pinky is going to go on the 3rd fret of the high E string. So if everything sounds the way it should, it'll get played like this. So starting again from the low E string here, it's going to go 3rd fret, middle finger, 2nd fret, 1st finger, open, open, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. That's a G chord. Moving right along, we have C, A, and G down. Now we have the letter E. This is an E major chord. Sounds like this. And that gets played with an open E string. The A string is going to get played on the 2nd fret with your middle finger. The D string is going to get played on the 2nd fret with your ring finger. And your G string is going to get played with your 1st finger on the 1st fret. I don't know if you guys can see that okay. The high B and E strings are both played open. So again, starting from the slow E, it's going to go open, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, open, and open. You guys can see that okay. I know my fingers are kind of covering the fretboard there. But that's an E chord. And the last chord in the CAGED sequence is a D chord. We have C, A, G, E, and now we're going to play the D chord, which sounds a little bit like this. And this chord is going to start from the D string, because that's going to be our root. That's going to be played open. The G string is going to get played with your 1st finger on the 2nd fret. Sorry. Your ring finger will get played on the 3rd fret of the B string. And your middle finger is going to go down here on the high E string on the 2nd fret. So starting from the D string, open, 2, 3, 2. And that's a D chord. Alright guys, that's it. Those are the 5 chord shapes that you need to know before we move on. Next lesson I'm going to show you guys how to alter those chords a little bit, and we're going to play some really, really cool stuff with it. So make sure you take the time to memorize those chord shapes, get them under your fingers, and kind of go by the old adage of don't practice until you get it right, practice until you can't get it wrong. If you're new to it, your fingers are going to hurt, your hands are going to hurt, your fingertips are going to hurt. If that happens, just put the guitar down for a little bit, go free your mind, do something else for a little while, and come back to it. Because your fingers and your hands, they've never been manipulated and, played and had to be moved around like that with anything else. So if it's new to you, keep that in mind. The frustration is going to be there. And again, if that happens, just put it down and come back to it later. But next lesson, we're gonna play some really cool stuff. So hopefully you guys will come back and check it out. Thanks.